Welcome to Technocracy News with your host, Patrick Wood. My name is Logan House. It's the first show of 2025, Patrick. How are you doing?
Here we are.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah.
And we've got all of our celebration behind us at this point, right? So hey, we got to bear down now.
Yeah, it's already started off as a crazy year. I mean,
It
the
really
first
has.
day, we've been multiple terrorist attacks, and
Yes.
it started off crazy.
So I'll tell you what, so sad. I was so saddened by the terror attack, and especially in New Orleans. Those people obviously they were there to party, right?
Yeah.
They had no clue that this would happen, and when it hits America, this was a microcosm of what happened in Israel several months ago with their terror attack. It just came out of the blue. Boom, there it was. And we had only 12 people killed in New Orleans, another 35 in the hospital. But this is unacceptable on so many levels. But we also know that this is the product of the immigration especially from our southern border. What we wouldn't expect anything different at this point. We have to accept this as our reality right now, because they've foisted this on us, and here we are.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
And
sad.
we've been talking about this happening, these things happening for the past year or more.
Yes.
With all the border being open and all these people coming in. I mean,
yes.
Well, we're going to talk today, that might take up all of the show, is your forecast for 2025.
Yes.
On your Substack.
Some people look forward to my forecast. I am a trend forecaster all the way. That's Technocracy News and Trends, not just technocracy.news, but trends is a big thing. And I look forward myself personally to doing this every year. Last year's forecast, I pretty much hit it on the head, I think, when the Trilateral Commission talked about year one in 2023 of the New World Order. That set a flag for me, basically, that they think now that finally their New World Order has arrived. And we see the signs of this all over the place now. This last year was the year two of the AI revolution. That's coincident with the New World Order, year two. The financial collapse, we saw massive amounts of wealth transferred into the billionaire class coffers, right?
Yep.
Interestingly, I saw a story that said since the election, Elon Musk's fortune has increased by 200%, or 100% rather, to $400 billion. That's incredible. Just since the election itself.
Wow.
You can see where this is headed.
Yeah.
Who's going to get rich off this whole thing? People like Elon Musk. He might be the first trillionaire at this point. Some people are predicting that. Then I also talked about last time about the collapse of reality, and we've seen this everywhere. You remember that poor 14-year-old black kid who committed suicide because he bonded with a chatbot who became real to him. Somebody who was paying attention to him and giving him kudos and stroking him, whatever. And this chatbot just totally took him over the edge to commit suicide. This is the risk. This is going to be going forward. This is going to be the risk of AI where people no longer will be able to tell the difference between reality and a simulacrum.
Yeah.
Very, very disturbing for sure. Well, in any case, I went on now to talk about what are we looking at in 2025? Well, this is year 3 of the New World Order. This was started in the 1970s, early on, and this was originally the new international economic order that the Trilateral Commission talked about all over the place. It was all over the literature. The United Nations adopted the same thing with Resolution 3201 and 3202 in 1974, talking about the establishment of the new international economic order. Here it is. And so this is year 3, and these people now they've figured they've got it in hand, and it's being executed right now. Their target is going to be apparently now 2030, and all these things are going to happen between now and then. They think.
Yeah.
We'll see about that, but who knows? The AI revolution is just getting started. This is going to be the year where AI gets entrenched in everything from top to bottom, from government all the way down to business, corporations, to people interacting with it, all with their smartphones and their computers, etc. AI is going to be everywhere you look. And worse, at this point, they're on the verge of achieving artificial general intelligence, that's AGI. This is a milestone that will be very dim for humanity, I think, because when they declare that their AI now is smarter than the sum of all humanity, you can imagine that. This is not going to be a good thing. It's not going to be smarter than everybody, but nevertheless, they think now at this point they can use AI to basically control society, top to bottom.
Yeah.
So it may be that OpenAI is going to be the one to achieve it. Sam Altman at this point has said he thinks they've achieved AGI. I doubt it, but nevertheless, he's the guy that runs OpenAI, and he's been a promoter along the way, so he's going to jump the gun to want to be first. But all of these other entries in the field, oh my gosh, you've got Google's Gemini, you have XAI, that's Elon Musk's entry. You have Meta that hosts Llama 4 now. IBM is in the race. Anthropic's in the race. DeepSeek from China is in the race as well. Any of these companies at this point could flat out achieve AGI in the next 12 months. I believe I could see this happening.
Yeah.
But we don't know who at this point. But whoever gets it, according to Klaus Schwab and so many other leaders in the free world and actually the Eastern world as well, they know that whoever gets AGI first probably is going to lead the pack and lead the charge of humanity into a scientific dictatorship. And, we hopefully we're going to be able to get some sense in our leaders to not let that happen. But nevertheless, you can see this is the race that we have to run.
Yeah. And you state underneath there how it's just keep getting entrenched into more applications and in everyday life this year as well. I mean, it's already on everything, on every application on your phone, but I think it's just going to keep rolling to where you won't be able to avoid AI.
It is. This whole business about the intelligence on your phone, Apple Intelligence is what Apple is calling it. You have on Android phones. Now you have Gemini and some other iterations of like Microsoft is hooking up with OpenAI. This is all merging together as being a huge, huge intelligence operation to suck everything out of the atmosphere about you and your moods, your political persuasions, your sicknesses, you name it. Your psychological profile information. You can't. This is beyond privacy at this point. This is basically the sucking of all data out of our humanity. This is very dangerous, obviously, because it can be used to be used against us in the end, to basically control everybody in society, whichever way they want them to go.
Yep. I mean, they'll know everything about you, your weaknesses,
yes.
your weak spots,
yes.
your everything.
Exactly. So I recommend that anybody who has a smartphone at this point, a new one especially, do not turn on your intelligence features to let it suck information away from you. Just don't do it. And if you can get a smartphone or a dumb phone somewhere, maybe old flip phone or something, do it.
Yep. Your next thing is the Great Bitcoin Swindle. And I'm guessing that's referring to, I mean, Trump's pretty big on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin train now as well.
All of a sudden it is. He is. And this wasn't the case in the last administration. But now the full court press is on to make Bitcoin a big thing in the government now. And even to the point of talking about a national reserve of Bitcoin. Let's pick this up after the break.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to go to a quick break here, and we got 2 minutes, and we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Brandon House. I want to thank you for all your support at wvwfoundation.com that helps make possible pushing out 24/7 content for free. Without your support, we'd have to put it all behind a paywall. But thanks to you and your support through our foundation, we're able to push it out for free as a broadcast service and broadcast ministry of WVW Foundation. Please consider going there and setting up an automatic monthly contribution, or go there and make an occasional contribution. If you prefer to support us through the mail, you'll find our mailing address there at wvwfoundation.com. You can also call and make your contribution over the phone by calling 901-825-0652. That's 901-825-0652. Again, all these details are available at wvwfoundation.com. Thank you for your support as we try to help people around the world understand the times through the lens of a Christian worldview.
All right, welcome back to Technocracy News with your host, Patrick Wood. We left off talking about your next prediction for 2025, the Great Bitcoin Swindle. And we were talking how Trump has all of a sudden jumped on the Bitcoin train, as well as his next Commerce Secretary. Howard
Yes.
Lutnick.
Yes, he has. I talked about this at least 10 years ago. I was talking about why does the government need to own all this land around the country? It's not authorized in the Constitution at all that the federal government should own some 600 million acres of land in America, including resource-rich land in America. And the question I asked 10 years ago, what are they thinking with all this national debt that's being racked up? What are they thinking about the assets that the United States owns? Well, that's the collateral against all that debt. Basically, that's the only thing the United States has is the land to back up potentially the debt, the national debt. So you know what? If you go bankrupt yourself, if you get in trouble with your credit cards or whatever, and you have to declare bankruptcy, what do? When they come to you, when you declared bankruptcy, they come to you and they take all of the assets you own away from you. It doesn't matter what it is at that point. Doesn't have to be anything particular collateralized, but they can take your car, your house, anything else that they can get their hands on, your jewelry, I suppose, even that. Basically, they're going to strip you bare. That's what happens when a nation goes bankrupt. The nation gets stripped bare. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden, I have flashbacks to my thinking of this 10 years ago. All of a sudden, the new Secretary of Commerce, Lutnick, is talking exactly about this thing, looking at the national assets we have and saying, ooh, if we could just get our hands on all that this wonderful gold and silver and the oil and the ground and the timber, all that stuff, we could play everything off, baby. We could be rock stars, And he says he and Elon Musk, they're going to do this.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what, the swindle is on. They didn't have Bitcoin back then. But now that Bitcoin is where it is today, this is going to be the pivot that they can basically plunder this national assets into their pocket and leave us high and dry.
Yep. And we have a clip of him talking about this, correct?
Exactly. This display to people. People are going to get the picture when they see him lusting over all of our national assets. Just play it.
Here we go.
I flew down to Brownsville, Texas, right? And I met with Elon, and we spent 2 hours together. And I told him we were going to create the department Doge, right? And he did exactly that. He started laughing and he was happy. He goes, no, seriously. And I said, no, it's going to be called Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, but we're definitely calling it Doge for you. And he was just so lit, happy. He just thought it was funny. And that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you have the greatest capitalist in America and you can make him happy, that's pretty good. What is the balance sheet of the United States of America? What's everything we own and everything we have? I think it's worth $500 trillion. So then you say, okay, Howard, can you make 0.25% on it? Right now, if all of your assets are a giant mountain of palladium and gold and you can't move it and you have to just look at it and go, oh, that's so pretty. That's not going to help us. But we have land and we have minerals. So if we have 500 trillion and we can make 0.25%, if you give us a $500 trillion asset, can you make $1 trillion off of it? All right.
Hopefully.
I'm going to rename that famous department we just called it. We called it the Department of the Interior. Let's give it the real name. The Department of all the land and mineral rights of the United States of America. But the asset value of the United States of America, $500 trillion, the addressable market. Can Elon Musk and I come up with 0.25%, $1.25 trillion of revenues? And the answer is
interesting.
Okay. I'll tell you what. This was broken down by Catherine Austin Fitts in spades, I believe. And when she talks about how Bitcoin can be used to plunder America, this is before us right now. This could be the year that this plundering operation starts.
So, are you referring to how we've talked about where people can buy digital land with crypto and stuff? Is that what?
Not exactly. Not exactly at this. Not at this point. The idea has always been from the beginning of the establishment of the Trilateral Commission in 1973. The idea was to take all the assets of the world and basically transfer them out of our hands and into their hands. That's national assets as well as personal assets. But most huge land assets are owned by nation states around the world, including the United States. We see it here. 600 million acres, more than that, actually. Is owned by the federal government. So when you talk about what's going on with Bitcoin, it's a complicated story for sure, but people just need to read this and understand what's going on. When you talk about what Bitcoin now is being suggested as a national reserve for the feds as well as states, all the land that's out there now, all these people, the early adopters of Bitcoin especially, they have to have a way to get rid of their Bitcoin. And at this point, the market is totally illiquid. It's been created that way on purpose, I'm sure, but now there's no way for these people to get loose of their holdings except to transfer it for national assets like our land.
Yeah.
And this is the idea. Yes, it will be digitized, but when the government drives up the price of Bitcoin to a point where nobody else can afford at that point, then all this Bitcoin is going to be converted into assets, and these people will be left holding those assets in their hand, while we're holding nothing but empty Bitcoin wallets.
Yeah.
and this is going to be epic. This comes on the heels of the swindle that Fitts has identified over the years, that there's at least $21 trillion that has gone missing from the government over the last 30 years.
Yep.
This is epic.
So basically,
nobody questions this.
So basically, it would just be a huge scheme where all these technocrats and these people who hold so much Bitcoin would be buying this land in return for a worthless coin in the end. That's
right. That's right. What Fitts calls it, this is a pump and dump operation. This has been. She's seen this over the years. I have too, where an asset is run up artificially and then is laid off on all the people who then get crushed when the thing collapses.
Yeah. They'd be running up their ass, the thing that they're holding so much that they can go and buy things with it that they need. And then once they have what they want, then it drops to nothing, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. This started, remember, when in Denmark with the tulip craze back in 700 years ago, when somebody got the idea they're gonna drive up the price of tulips. Who knows why they did that, but they think, though, this is better than gold. And all the people got out at the top were the ones that were driving up the price in the first place.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing collapsed and boom, everybody was out of all their money.
Wow. Well, we're coming up on the end. We have about a minute left. Do you have anything you want to close out with? One last thing you want to hit?
Definitely, we need to talk about technopopulism at this point, because this is going to be the year where technopopulism is going to take a bite out of America, literally take a bite out of our budget, and certainly some things do need to be reduced. But you're going to see AI is going to be offered as a solution to make all this stuff happen, and you're going to see also calls for privatizing all these agencies like the U.S. Post Office, Air Traffic Control, federal prisons, Amtrak, the General Services Administration, et cetera. This is going to be really huge. And we have to also just say one thing about terrorism. Terrorism is going to hit America with a vengeance this year, I do believe. And we saw this on New Year's Day, and I think we're going to see going forward, sad day for America, but we could lose a lot of people over this course of the year, and we need to pray for America. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, let's pray that there's no more, but I'm not confident that there won't be.
Right.
And one day that really scares me is Inauguration Day.
Yes.
And then Trump announced that he's doing a rally the day before in DC too. So that's another target.
Yes.
Possibly.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we are all out of time. On Tuesday, we will cover some of the stories we couldn't get to today, including the Jimmy Carter story about the Trilateral Commission president who sold out America. So that's a teaser on one of the stories we'll cover on Tuesday.
Yes,
Until then,
indeed.
take care.
God bless.